15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Wait a minute. I've heard that before. That's the note Jeremy wrote to me in my yearbook in the 6th grade. How'd you even know that?
Because it's from Geico.
Yeah, wait, here it is. Dear Luke, have a great summer. P.S. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. Love, Jeremy.
Geico's had this tagline for years, because we help save people money.
So wait, you're saying Jeremy copied you? Yeah, that actually does sound like something the J-Man would do.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Woman in Progress. Okay, so I missed my upload date this past Friday, and I know it's only been 2 weeks. It's like, how is that possible? You just started, girl. Get it together. But I promise you I have a great reason. So on March 7th, 2 days after my upload, I thought I was going to be having a photo shoot for Orlando Weekly. Turns out I was walking into my very own engagement, and I am through the roof, over the moon, just excited. And I still can't believe that my girlfriend, who's now my fiancé, was able to pull it off without me even knowing. I wasn't even suspicious because she's that good at surprising me. I cannot. Anyway, she had my whole family involved and so many of our friends and just people that we care about. And it was such an amazing day. And I'm literally still living in the moment every day. So we took a couple days and it's been a full week. And, time to get back to our regular lives and start planning this wedding. So that's why I missed my upload. Because I couldn't stop living in the moment and I didn't want to. So here we are on Sunday, an official full week from the day that I got proposed to. And now I'm recording. And that brings me to the topic for the week. So this week we are going to talk about new chapters. Now, an engagement is one heck of a new chapter. So I figured why not kind of use it as a segue to just getting more in depth on kind of some of the things that have brought me to this point and why I feel like I want to do a podcast and why I want to talk to you guys and why this all came to be. And it all started with new chapters. I'm realizing that new things are happening in my life and, I'm not going to be the same person that I was a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So it's a new chapter for me and I'm sure some of you guys can relate. A lot of you guys can relate probably, but that's what we're going to talk about this week. Okay, so I would have to say that right now, I feel like my book of life is having so many new moments and so many new chapters being created. I honestly just don't know where to start. So number one, I'm turning 30 at the end of April on the 30th. I'm turning 30 on the 30th, which is crazy. And for me, that's the end of an era, the end of me figuring out all the shit that I didn't know before, that I still don't know, to be honest. And I feel like becoming a true adult form of myself, learning things that I don't like anymore, people I don't like anymore, things I don't ever want to do, things I can't wait to do, things that I didn't even know I wanted to do. And for me, turning 30 is such a big deal in a way that I never would have imagined. Most people, not most people, but some people, birthdays are just days, and an age doesn't signify anything to them except they're just getting older. But for me, 30 is a milestone because I'm realizing that I'm not in the same space that I was during my 20s. And even in the last 2 years, I have lost friendships and it's just been an up and down kind of battle with figuring out who's going to be a part of my next chapter in life. And that next chapter is my 30s. And a lot of people say this is the time when you kind of realize that, the people that you thought were your friends, they really aren't. The people who you thought were supporting you, they really aren't. And that has been kind of scary because I'm the type of person, I love my friends hard, just as much as I love my family, just as much as I love my partner. Like, it's hard for me to not include them in things. And when I feel like that they are not there for me, it sucks, like, I believe that statement is true, that, friends can break your heart as well. And I've had that happen already. So it's definitely mind-blowing and very eye-opening that I'm going to round this corner into my 30s with a lot less people in my corner than I anticipated. So coming to that realization has definitely been just sad in a sense, because I adore my friends. I treat them like they are my family. And when I don't feel I'm being reciprocated that same behavior, it really sucks, because it makes me think, dang, I am that person that is too forgiving. I'm too giving. I'm too this. And I should toughen up and make people treat me the way that I expect to be treated, but I don't. Especially friends. I'm so forgiving with my friends. And that has led me to feeling really heartbroken in the sense of when they don't do what I expect them to do. And with that being said, I've been recently thinking, where am I going to stand with these people once I hit 30? Like, is it going to be some light that clicks on and I'm going to realize I don't deserve this? Or am I going to continue to act the same way and still give them chance after chance after chance? And the hardest part for me is I was recently at a birthday party of a friend of mine who turned 30, and her family member said something that's like, this is a culmination of everything that you've been through and how you've grown as a person up until now, and the people surrounding you are the people who you've met along the way. And it hit me because I'm like looking around, I'm like, damn, I'm going to be sitting there looking around if somebody were to say that same speech, and who's going to be in the room with me, Family, that's great, but like, which of my friends is going to be there? Who can I really say deserves to be in that room when that person is saying those words? Like, I've met so many people throughout my whole life, and I know friendships don't last forever, and I know long distance friendships tend to suffer, and these aren't the people I am talking about. I'm talking about people who are supposed to be like my closest friends, and who I expected would be there with me on my wedding day, and I'm having second thoughts about, would they show up? Would they flake? Would they, like things like that? And that's not how you should feel. Like, I shouldn't feel like I'm planning my wedding and like I'm not sure if my friends who are supposed to be my friends are going to show up because it's an inconvenience for them, or because, here I go. I'm ranting. No, but let me get back on topic. So I just had that moment of like, damn, when it's my turn to turn 30, who's going to be sitting in there surrounding me, showing me my culmination of friendships in a sense? And that hit hard because I realized it's going to be a small list, which is completely fine. There's people who don't have a lot of friends, but I never thought I was going to be that person. I always imagined I was going to have this huge group of girls and guys around me, and it was going to be great, and we were going to be friends forever, but that's not how it works. And I'm learning that, to be honest. And it's really like, damn. And who would have thought that in the eve of my 30s, in a sense, that I'm learning that. And I'm realizing like, it's not going to be how I planned it. And if you remember, a couple episodes, or no, it was last episode when I'm a planner. So that's not what I planned. I didn't think that I was going to be that person that didn't have too many people surrounding her. And here I am now in, a week later after my engagement thinking, damn, who's going to be my bridal party? It's going to be small. Because my fiancé, she has tons of friends, people who are close to her, people who support her, people who are actively in her life as friends, and she's not going to, she'll have a wealth of people to choose from. Whereas me, it's going to be like, all right, how do I find a couple extra people to even it out? That's where I'm at. And, that's fine. It's going to change the dynamic of things, but I never imagined that would be the case. So my little old plans are balled up and thrown in the trash. So now I have to come up with a new plan. And I think my new plan is basically just being authentically me and saying, hey, if your energy doesn't match mine as far as like giving and taking, we can't do this. And I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine, and she put it in a good perspective, like you have to put your friends in categories where they belong and where they fit. Some of your friends aren't those people who are going to check on you every day or every couple of months or every couple of weeks. They're not going to be the people you can turn to and say, hey, I had a shitty day. Can we talk for 20 minutes? Because they're not available. They can't emotionally be available for you the way you would probably be emotionally available for them. And that's okay. Put them in a different category. You have your friends who are only going to be available when it benefits them, when it's, a party, when they can go out, when they can do this, when they can do that. And that's fine. Those are your party friends. Put them in that category, and then you have your friends who you talk to every now and then, and they show up to things occasionally, but you really can't count on them. You keep inviting them and you hope they show up, and I don't even know what category they fall in, but you have those friends too. And then you have your friends who you really can count on. The people who, like, if I called you at 3 a.m. and you were sleeping, you would still stay up to talk to me. Those types of friends. And that is what I thought all of my friends were. Those are my ride or die friends. But, I've learned that there needs to be some shifting around in my friend group. I need to reorganize the people around me and put them in a category that doesn't hurt me in the end. Because at the end of the day, I'm the type of person, everyone's invited. Always. You want to go to the beach? We're all going. I'm inviting everybody. And I get hurt when people, that sounds really dramatic. Oh my God, my feelings are so hurt when people don't show up. But I cannot afford to allow the energy to continue this way. I need people to be accountable for their actions. Like, I need to know who I can count on. And if that means that I have to mentally say, okay, this person, I thought they were close to me. I thought we were really good friends, but turns out I'm not going to hear from them unless I'm the one that reaches out. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with people like that and having friends like that if you're willing to deal with that energy. I guess they're not so much energy vampires, but it's just I don't want to be let down expecting someone to call me after something important or text me. I don't want to have to feel like that. So if I automatically put them in a box where I know this is what I can expect from these certain people, then it's fine. I'm not going to be upset. I have my people, for example, if I buy a brand new car, I look at my friend group and I say, these are the people who I'm going to hear from, not on social media. I'm going to hear from them via text, via phone call, in person. And then that's cool. And those are the people I can expect that from. And then I have my people who are definitely going to be my social media people. They're going to hit it with a congrats on the internet. And that's fine too. But I know not to expect to get a personalized text or an update text or whatever from those people, because those are my social media friends. That's where their limit is. And then I got my people who I know they're just going to look at it. They're going to watch it. They're not going to say nothing. They're not going to interact with it. They're just going to watch it because they want to know what's going on, keep track, and that's that. I'm not going to expect anything from them either. And it's if I do that with everybody I know, friend-wise, I know what to expect from these people, and I don't get my feelings hurt. And that's what I've experienced a lot of. My feelings are always being hurt by the people who I care about the most, i.e. my friendships. And that's something that I allow to happen because I've always been the type of person who doesn't speak up and say, hey, what you did sucks. I hate it. And I wish you wouldn't do it again. I don't do that. I just say, okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Like that little meme with the dog sitting in the cafe and he's like, this is fine. And the whole cafe is on fire. That's me. I'm that person. Everything is fine. You get that feeling in the pit of your stomach and you move on, that's been my reality. That's how I am with people. Somebody says, I'm definitely going to be there. Can't wait. I'm going to be front row. Then you look in the crowd and they're not there. And that's what I deal with. I put up with that shit and then I let it continue, and I don't ever say, hey, what you did that one time hurts me. So these people think that what they're doing is fine, and it's really not. And it sucks, but now I'm learning to get a tougher skin and saying, okay, I'm willing to cut you off. And when you ask me what happened, don't be mad when I give you the correct answer. That type of environment, that type of energy. I need to be better at telling people, hey, you're not up to par with what I'm expecting and what I'm giving you, so I'm going to cut back. So that way it's even. And then when you realize all the shit that's not happening anymore, maybe it'll make you think, hey, I've been a shitty friend, and you'll change. That's how I need to look at it. And I, as a person, also need to change. I need to get better at checking on my friends and being the person that I expect them to be to me. And I know that, and I've realized that. So now I'm working on that as well. I'm trying to reach out to my friends more and making sure I check on them just as much as I expect them to check on me. Like, I can't expect this behavior if I'm also not giving it, especially to the people I'm expecting it from. You know, and I'm not saying all of this to call any particular person out or, you know, anybody who I may know that's listening to this. This is not a jab at any particular person. It's just a realization I have began to have over the years. And now that I'm turning 30, I'm like, damn. You know, it's like old me would have wanted a birthday party with mad people there, all of us having a great time. And now I'm like, fuck that. I'm going on a plane somewhere I want to go. If you want to go and be there and celebrate with me, come on. If you don't, hope that you text me on my birthday, at least. That's how I'm feeling. So that's what I decided to do. But that's the kind of energy I need to start having. I need to start doing things and saying, hey, I'm only inviting you one time. I'm only saying it once. I'm not begging you to be in my presence. And that's that. That's going to be the new thing. I'm not begging anybody to be my friend. I don't need that. If you want to be my friend 24/7, then I need that 24/7 friend energy. If you want to be my friend when it pleases you, when it looks cute, when it benefits you, fuck out of here with that. I'm not with that shit. So, you know, that's part of my new chapter as well. Realizing where my friendships stand and, you know, kind of what I need to work on in that sense. I could rant on and on and on about friendships. A whole nother episode probably. And as this kind of progresses throughout my life, I guarantee there'll be more. And once people start to realize that they've been left on red indefinitely, oh, I'm sure there'll be more stories to tell. So we shall see. But, you know, with that being said, I also have to throw out there that me as a person, I need to grow as well and start giving more love and more respect to the friendships that I do currently have and the ones that are actually there for me and the people in my life that are showing me that, hey, they want to be there. And I need to let those relationships blossom, basically, and let go of the ones who are it's kind of like a plant. I got a couple of stems. Some of them are thriving, and I have one section of the plant that's dying. It's sucking the energy out of the rest of them, and I need to cut those off so that the rest of my plant can thrive. And that's what needs to happen. So I'm going to work on it, and hopefully down the line, the next couple episodes, in a month, 2 months, it won't be the same story of me complaining about the same people. So we shall see. But I will say that, you know, to kind of segue, getting engaged was amazing. And looking around me, the people who were there were the people who needed to be there, and the people who I know I can count on. And, you know, it was so nice to see. And I really, really, really appreciate everybody who showed up and everybody who, you know, just showed so much love for me in my relationship. It's been wonderful, and I can't wait to keep planning and having more parties and, you know, going through the process of getting engaged and being married and all those things, and all the corny parties and shit that you throw, I'm throwing them. 'Cause I've been wanting to get married my whole life. I'm one of those girls who could not wait for their wedding day, cannot wait to have kids type shit. So I'm excited to continue this journey with the people who want to be a part of it. You know, I'm not going to force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. So, you know, with that being said, we're going to throw that out there, just letting y'all know. I'm not forcing you to show up to any of my shit. If you don't want to show up, just know your invitation to the next portion will be canceled because I don't got time because weddings are expensive. And I am the type of person I need an RSVP. I need to know if you're coming. So I know what to make. So if you don't RSVP, fuck out of here. Oh my gosh, I can't.
I haven't really woken up until I've had my McDonald's breakfast deal. And I know this is true because before breakfast, I put my phone in the refrigerator and couldn't find the keys that were already in my hand.
Nothing gets the morning going like the first sip of an iced coffee. Get any size and any flavor for 99 cents until 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Okay, so now that I'm done ranting on about my friendships and whatnot, the next kind of new chapter that I'm going through right now is going from not working to working again. I recently found out that I got a job that I had applied for, prior to this year, and it turns out that the position was still available. So, I won't get into the nuts and bolts of it all, but I ended up getting the job. So now here I am. It's been almost 4 months. It'll be almost 3 months now. No, 4 months that I haven't been working at my previous employment due to mental health. You guys, I'm not going to be ashamed to say it. I felt like I was losing my shit, so I took a mental health break. I used that lovely FMLA type. I think it's FMLA. I don't know. I took a mental break from work and I needed it to figure out what I wanted to do. If you don't know, I am a visual merchandiser. So I make the store look beautiful, make the mannequins look beautiful, that type of stuff. I've been doing that for a long time now. Not double digits, but, it feels like an eternity. And I recently discovered that the place that I was working, the job description didn't meet what I expected, and it just became a lot more mental stress than I anticipated. And, creative people tend to have a lot of mental stress as is. We are all over the place, and that's fine, but I just couldn't deal. And, I had a hard time. I struggled with trying to decide if taking the break was the right thing to do. And, not for the money or any of that, but thank God I was able to take my break and not have to worry financially, especially during, a pandemic. And don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for the position. And it was something that I was hoping to get because I was trying to leave a previous situation, which was also toxic. It's like hashtag toxic central over here, me and my friendships and my jobs. So, leaving another place that was just mentally draining to go to another place where I was super excited and ready to start something new. And I had all these ideas and just, it didn't turn out to be what I expected. So I went from one mentally draining place to a different mentally draining place to just taking a whole break and having a little mini breakdown and saying, what, enough is enough. I need time. So I took my time and I ended up coming across another job that it sounds like it's going to be something that's more my speed, something new that I can try that I've always wanted to do. I cannot wait. And I just hope that it allows me to have mental peace at the end of the day and that's another thing that I've learned now that I'm older. It was all about the money for me. Like, what job is going to give me the most money? Like, I was a job hopper and not in a negative way. Like, I worked places where I wanted to be, but I also looked at compensation. That was a big deal for me. So to take a job and know I'm losing money and, but I'm gaining my mental health back, that is more important. And I think that's something too that people my age will start to realize as they round that corner. The 90s babies, when they get to the point in their lives when they realize that it's not about how much money you're making all the time, and not everybody has that luxury. Some people, it's going to continue to be about the money, and that's fine. You have to live. You don't want to live on the streets. You don't want to live in your car. So you do things and take jobs that aren't satisfying and don't make you happy and stress you out so that you can pay your bills. And that sucks. But I'm lucky enough to be able to take a job that's not necessarily the same financial benefits that I was getting before. But hey, I'm getting paid. I have a place to work. And hopefully this is so much better and it's everything that I dream and I could be happy. yeah, so that's kind of my next chapter. I'm going from not working for like 4 or 5 months to like having to be accountable for waking up on time and going to a job. So that's going to be fun. And, you know, the added thought of, damn, I had 2 opportunities to launch my my 6 to 10, as we call it. And, you know, the first time around, I was real pumped and it did take off, but it was just like, I got more questions about freebies than I did about actually placing orders. So that was kind of shitty the first time around, when the last year at this time, when, you know, we first heard that we were going to be hanging out at home all the time during this pandemic. But now, you know, I took time to kind of revamp my brand. And that's something else I could talk about too in another time. My crochet business, I do made to measure knitwear. So, you know, when you're doing crochet and things by hand, it's like, oh my God, time consuming. But I started off making bikinis and like scarves and stuff like that. And then it turned into like this business, because I was like, wow, I'd make the bikini and I'd wear them. And people were like, where'd you get that? Oh, I made it. Oh, how do I buy one? So, you know, it was a lot of questions about like, oh my God, you made that, like, can't wait to get one, versus like, I'm going to be buying them. Like, no. So many people wanted a free one versus just supporting my business. You know, knitwear, when you buy it from like Target or when you buy it from like Forever 21, like it's pricey. Like, you know, if you find a knit bikini, it's got lining, all that stuff, you're paying like $20, but like, heaven forbid you buy a handmade piece for me and have to pay $25. Heaven forbid. So it was just a lot of figuring out where I stand as far as trying to run a business and get exposure. And, you know, just, it makes you realize a lot, like who's supporting you and who is just trying to get your shit for free because they know you type shit. So it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth, and I stopped. And then, you know, I started working my other job, and I just didn't have time to run the business the way I wanted to. So now my second time around having the break, I was able to kind of decide whether I was going to close my business or revamp. So I decided to go for a revamp, and now I'm doing made to measure. I'm not doing pre-side. Like, that was my other issue. Like, do I take people's measurements and make them custom items, or do I pre-make a bunch of shit and sell it? Like, that was the struggle I was having. So now I will make the design. I'll be my own model, you know, things like that. And then if you order it, you give me your measurements and I make it for you. Like, I'm not doing mass produced. That's the word. Mass production. It's going to be piece by piece by piece, first come, first serve basis type shit. And that's where I'm kind of at with it. So I'm still in the process of creating the pieces for the spring. Well, spring's pretty much over. My summer drop, my summer re-release type thing. So, you know, that was hard as well, realizing I had all this free time and I didn't use it properly. That kind of sucked, and that hit me hard too, because I was like, wow, you had 2 chances to make your business pop and you decided to not make it work. So, you know, but I'm always going to be my toughest critic, and that's just on me being realistic. Like, hey, I had plenty of time and I chose to sit on my ass, and that's what I did. So now, you know, I'm still getting ready for my summer release. I'm not putting as much pressure on myself, because now I don't have to create 10 looks or 10 items of each thing anymore. I'm just going to make one, model it myself, post it, take the orders. I'm not doing that shit anymore, because that was tough. And anybody who works with their hands, who makes things, you know, jewelry, crochet, knit, it's a lot on your body. And in a way, especially me, I've always been good with my hands. I play the violin, things like that. So my hands have always been more tired. And I remember going to the doctor, and he was like, you are definitely going to be a candidate for arthritis when you get older if you don't start taking care of your joints. So for me, crocheting is a lot of handwork, and it's tiring. And I saw a couple of people who I follow on social media, you know, they had to take breaks because it was just too much. So now I think doing it like this, I'll be able to, you know, still have a business and still keep it fun, but I definitely won't be able to mass produce like I had planned on doing the first time around. So, you know, I'm not beating myself up too much anymore. I'm taking a new job, and I should still have the time to make my 6 to 10 work along with my 9 to 5, and I'm excited about it, and you know, it is what it is. I know so many people who started businesses during, being furloughed and being home, and they were super successful, and I'm so happy for them. And that's what I hoped I could have done. But my fiance started a business, and it's been going well for her. So if one of us could do it, I'm glad it was able to be her, because it's something she's been wanting to do for a while as well. So, we're going to plug sixcolorway.com out here. I will definitely have to have her on an episode so she can talk to you about her business herself, because I will not do it justice. The passion she has for it is unreal. So she makes these amazing shirts, custom designs, doormats, like she's grown so much in this last year as far as like her business has gone. So I'm super proud of her. But I will definitely, I'm going to have some small business owners on here so that they can talk about their business, because that's where it's at. So many people started a business during this time, and it's a new, like I said, a new chapter. So many people out here started a new business, and they started something new, and I'm proud of everybody who made it work, everybody who made it happen. And I can't wait to join them, because look, everything in the universe is telling me every day that I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family. So I cannot wait, because I see it on my Instagram. I see it on TikTok. These posts that come up, they just say, you will be the first, interact to lock it in. So, I double tap that so that I can interact. But I just feel it, and I can't wait. And maybe this is going to be the thing that makes me a millionaire. Who knows? We'll see. But I just want everybody out there to know that this is the season of new chapters. And a lot of people, this is, side note, I recently went through my, what is it called? Oh my God, I can't remember. But it's kind of like a version of a spiritual awakening. I have to find it out, and I'll talk, probably, we could do an episode on it. But I recently, when I turned 29, had my like spiritual awakening type thing, where it's kind of described as like your life comes full circle. It's around the time that you were born. 27, I think it's 27 to like 30 years later, you come full circle, your full rotation. I have to find the name, but I recently went through that, and I literally thought, I was like, oh my God, what's going to be? So usually some people, they have really hard times or things like that. Mine wasn't too bad. Like I literally just was in the middle of my relationship. So it wasn't horrible. Like, I don't feel like mine was bad, but maybe I have the dates wrong, and this is mine, and I'm turning 30, and I'm having a spiritual awakening, and I'm realizing who I'm cutting off and who's coming with me. Anyway, so that is my take on new chapters. I'm just excited because at first, all of this seemed so overwhelming. I was like, oh my God, I'm turning 30. I have no friends. This sucks. My business isn't going anywhere, and I'm like depressed about it. But now I'm looking at it like, damn, it doesn't suck. I'm turning 30. Fuck yes. Another year. My business, it doesn't suck. It's not successful. It's just, I need to get off my ass. And my relationship is thriving. Like, I cannot explain to you guys enough. Like, I've never been happier, and that's like 2 episodes worth of information to talk about how we met. And I kind of want her to be on to talk about it too, because I forget shit. So I would love, that's going to be fun. But, it's such a blessing. This version of my life is turning out better than I can expect. And, even though it's not how I planned it, it's so much more than I could have imagined. And, every single day is a chance to start your new chapter. And I feel like, there's no time that's too late. Like you could be 40 and wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to do this, this, and this. As long as you get up and do it, boom, you're doing it. Who cares how old you are? Who cares what part of your life you're in? Who cares if you're doing it by yourself, if you're doing it surrounded by your family? Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, we have to stop looking at other people around us and saying, damn, I'm not doing that, so something must be wrong with me, because it's not. Those things just aren't for you, and it's not to say that you aren't meant to have money, you're meant to be poor forever, you're meant to be this forever, you're meant to be lonely, single. You're not. You have to go out there and attract the things that you want and get them and accept them. Be willing to accept them when they're right in your face as well. I feel like a lot of the things I used to have struggles with was I would see the thing in my face and still say, no, I don't want it. And that would be the issue. Like, you have to be open and willing to accept the things in your life, whether they seem good or not. That way you can get to the next level. You know, I would not be where I am right now if I didn't have certain things happen to me that may or may not have been the best, but it got me to be the person that I am now, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And, you know, I say all that to say to people, like, just be patient with yourself and be kind to yourself, because at the end of the day, you are what you have. When you're in your room in pitch black darkness, sitting there thinking, like, it's you. You know, you could be in a relationship or whatever, but it's your mind. You are the only person inside of your mind. So you need to treat yourself, you know, with kindness. Don't beat yourself up so much. It's shitty to do. It sucks. And I've been doing it for as long as I can remember. And maybe now that I'm turning 30, I'll use it as a new chapter, and I'll use it as a new chance to be nicer to myself, because I can't keep doing it. I can't keep beating myself up, and I can't keep allowing people to treat me any old kind of way, you know? So with all that being said, take a moment to kind of just think about things in your life and where you are, like, in this moment. Not next week, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but like, how are you right now? And just say, you know, in the next 15 minutes, what kind of person do I want to be? Because to be honest, honey, if I got up right now and decided that I wanted to start working out, I could get up in the next 5 minutes and say, okay, my new lifestyle is going to be healthy, and start being healthy from 5 minutes from now. And that will just be who I am. You know, there's no way, I don't know, what am I trying to say? There's no right way to change your life, you know? So it's like, in 5 minutes, if I decide that now I want to go be a gym rat and work out and be healthy, like, I can do it in 5 minutes. I can decide that in the next 5 minutes, that's what I want to do. And you can decide in the next 5 minutes that you want to get up and start your business. You want to get up and apologize to that friend who you feel like you did something shitty to. You know what I mean? Like, a lot can happen in 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you know? So take every opportunity to kind of reflect on yourself and say, hey, I don't like who I am right now, so I want to be something different in 5 minutes. And do it. Like, try one thing. Like, I want to brush my teeth morning and night. Or I want to floss. Or, you know, stupid shit. Like, whatever you want. Just pick something and try it. In the next 5 minutes, you can be a whole new person. So, I don't know. That was me trying to be motivational. How was it? Did I do a good job? I don't know. Anyway. So for me, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to be, you know what a good one is? We can all start with, in the next 5 minutes, you're going to decide that if you don't already, you're going to become a avid water drinker. You're going to drink more water. So 5 minutes from now, you got to get up, get a glass of water, and say, hey, I'm deciding to drink more water. And do it. Drink more water. So that's what I'm going to do. So 5 minutes from now, I'm going to be a fish. So let's all be fishes, and let's see how we do next week. I'm most likely going to upload Friday for sure, because I'll be out of town. I'll be in DC. I'm so excited, but I'm probably going to pre-record the episode so that way I don't disappoint and miss my deadline again. We can't have that 2 weeks in a row. But we'll see. By then, by then it probably won't matter if I've done my 5-minute task, but hopefully you guys have by next Friday. You started drinking more water because I told you to. So once you're done listening to this, sit down for 5 minutes, take a break, and then get up and get your glass of water and join me, because that's what we're doing. 2021, we're going to be hydrated, guys. Anyway, I rambled on long enough. I've taken enough of your time. This episode was much longer, and I'm happy because I had a lot to talk about. And the rest of the episodes are going to continue to be a little bit longer than the first two, because now we're getting into the swing of things. And as always, I appreciate everybody who takes the time to listen to me ramble, rant on. And thank you for coming back again to hear me on the 3rd episode. I'm super excited for where this is going, and I cannot wait to keep going for you guys and keep holding myself accountable to this, because this is something that it's bringing me back to my old YouTube days, guys, when I used to sit up and record and, you know, edit my videos. Oh God, if anybody found those. But once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Woman in Progress. And I look forward to the next one. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And don't forget to drink your fucking water. Anyway, love you guys. Until next time. Mwah!
If you run a business, Bank of Clark County has you covered, offering cash management services to automate and simplify your business banking, streamlined digital banking, and merchant payment processing that's a one-stop solution. Plus, Bank of Clark offers corporate credit cards that help you optimize capital, organize expenses, and enhance your business. Whether you're looking to earn points faster or lower your APR, Bank of Clark County has the card that's right for you. Member FDIC.